Hey Zed,
Hi.
thanks for coming over today.
You're very welcome.
Let's get kinky.
I'm really excited to talk with you about rope and shabari today, and I wanted to hear a little bit more from you. Like, how did you get into it?
So I grew up in Singapore, which explains the accent.
Yes.
And Singapore, I'm not sure how much you know about it, but it's really conservative, specifically with regards to queerness and being gay. Decriminalization of gay sex only happened like 2 years ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So imagine growing up in such an environment where you are constantly told that your sexuality is not legal. Under that sort of psyche, I had to repress a lot of my inclinations, my kinks. And when I was young, I remember watching television and Hong Kong drama series, and I saw like the protagonist being tied to a bed, very much like this.
Yeah.
And I felt like a tingling sensation, like, ooh, this is interesting, you know? And
Love it.
I didn't know where it was coming from. I didn't even know I was gay. You know, I just felt I was responding to something that I saw on TV. And from there, I slowly realized that I was really interested or fascinated with people being tied up. And back then, there was Tumblr where such images were circulated. And I started collecting them. I started following people who were doing it. And eventually, I found somebody in Asia who was into rope bondage, and he tied me up, and that was such an amazing experience, you know. Just being in that position of vulnerability and surrender, but also feeling like the rope tightening around you. I like to describe it like a cocoon. Like it's somebody giving you a very tight hug that makes you feel very held and very secure. I remember I was very emotional after the first session.
What do you think it was that made you emotional about it?
I've spoke to a lot of rope subs about it, and we've compared notes, and I think it's partly because of the release after you get untied. You know, there's the blood that rushes back to your extremities and your fingers, and you know, if you've ever played that game where you held this hand and then you held it as long as you could
for
stop the circulation. Then when you release it, your hand suddenly has this flow or this rush to it, you know. So it's very much like that. The principles are the same. So after you release the rope, there's this tingly sensation, and it can be coupled with like emotional relief or a sense of a well. You know, sometimes people faint because the speed of that circulation going back into your fingers is so strong. And I think that's also the case with suspension. You know, when you add suspension to it, your body is going through some kind of like, hey, something's not right, you know, then it's reacting in a kind of fight or flight adrenaline. Then when the ropes come off, there's this come down from that experience, and it's the discrepancy between the both extremes that you can get addicted to. You know, you start craving that sensation.
What is the sensation for you?
It's like holding your breath for a very long time until your body is like struggling to fight it, and then you let go of the breath and you sigh. And that's the sensation.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm trying to put it into my own words too, to see if I'm like understanding relief and also almost gratitude for the air that you're breathing again.
Restabilization of the body. You know,
I think in a lot of kink play, we do things that are putting our body in a non-stable place. There is something so cathartic for me about doing that and surviving it. Not that I really feel like I'm gonna die, but you know, this feeling of satisfaction and, like you said, just kind of restored to or grounded back to normal.
It's also this sense like I gave myself permission to do something beyond what I imagined I could do.
Like it feels empowering?
Yeah, like a physical kind of, it's almost like running a marathon or doing an extreme sport in a way. You're pushing your body to a certain kind of limit, so you can discover where the boundaries of yourself and your physical limits are.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that we all could do a better job practicing intentionally being uncomfortable. I feel like there's a lot of discomfort, especially politically and everything right now, that's like out of our control. But when we practice doing uncomfortable things on purpose that we want to do, like kink, it definitely gives me more of a sense of pride and empowerment. Like, oh, I can do hard things.
It's also rehearsing your body for crisis. If you understand that your body can take this, then in the future, if you're really put in a situation like that, you'll probably be more aware of how your body is going to respond to the situation.
Yeah, definitely. How would somebody else, like if they wanted to get started?
I would say don't start immediately by like going to the extreme and suspending yourself. I think the thing about bondage, it's like painting with rope and drawing lines on the body. It's like any drawing practice. You don't start out by drawing like a photorealistic sketch, you start off by like just drawing a circle and trying to perfect the circle. I think with rope bondage you have to start with the most basic knot and just making sure you have a really good foundation. Even if you are looking for the experience and you're not interested in tying, just making sure that you find people that you really trust, because there are people who have different intentions.
Such as?
Some people do rope bondage with the main intention of causing pain. And torture.
Like a sadist.
Like a sadist. And if that's what you desire out of an experience, then definitely, go for it. But if you're looking for something else, rope also has varying degrees of torture, so it doesn't have to be always so extreme, or it doesn't have to cause pain all the time. And a lot of people who are rope submissives, they are under the impression that I have to take it. I have to endure whatever that happens in the scene. If not, I'm not a good sub. I'm not like the best sub. And usually like the top has a lot of different choices where they can, if you're not willing to do it, then somebody else is going to come and take it, So you always feel like you have to learn how to endure and you have to be able to take pain, but it's not necessarily so. There are ways that the top can adjust their tie and understand how your body limitations are, or your flexibility limitations. And if they are unable to adjust to you, then it's time to look for someone else. And that's the thing that I wish more rope submissives would be a little bit more aware of, how to take care of themselves in a scene, the risk that they are taking on, like going on into a rope scene, because it is risky. It is edge play. So it's what we refer to as mutually aware consensual risk. And if somebody tells you there's absolutely no risk in rope bondage, they're lying. Because rope is not meant to be holding body parts in a constricted position for that amount of time. It's not how your body is supposed to be. So there is some amount of risk involved.
I feel like all of us, especially in the gay community, need to do a better job having that pre-conversation with each other, finding out like, what do you want to get out of this? Here's what I want to get out of this. The tough part about that is it's hard for me to know what I want until I'm in it often. And I've always had a really hard time speaking up during sex and like saying, hey, this is too far for me, or hey, can we adjust this? This is what I want. But I've had to just kind of practice it just by going, okay, 3, 2, 1, hold my breath and can we do something else? But what would you recommend to somebody that's in that situation? It's kind of new.
Kink is really, really tricky. There's so many consent models out there in the world, and if this goes on YouTube, I'm sure a lot of people will be like, he's saying something wrong. It's not supposed to be like this model, because there's so many different consent models out there. My personal belief is that in-scene negotiation is not encouraged. So like what you mentioned just now, once you get into the scene, especially for rope bondage, and you change your mind about something, and usually it's the top, they want to push the scene a little bit further, or they see something and they want to like push the sub, that's a big no.
Got it.
Yeah, so everything has to be negotiated with the submissive, especially if they're gagged or in their compromised position where they are unable to consciously like acknowledge the change. So discussion beforehand, making sure that everything is laid out and very clearly spelled out on where the scene is going to go and what we're doing today.
Yeah.
The easiest thing, and it's very difficult for most subs, is to make sure that your dom has a very clear intention for the scene. I see a lot of people like go into the scene saying like, oh, I'm just going to practice today, and they end up having sex.
The dom is saying, I'm just going to practice?
Yeah, or the sub say, oh, I'm here just to practice very casually, you know, and they don't really negotiate the boundaries because of that, and then they start having sex.
Right.
Yeah, when it's the intention was to lab or to practice rope.
Got
you
it.
know, and it also makes your practice sessions less focused.
Right.
You know, if you set an intention for the scene and it's just purely practice, then you should just be doing practice and sex is off the table.
Right.
But the thing that you're describing was very fascinating, because how can you give consent to something that you have no knowledge of
Right.
prior to the scene itself?
Yeah.
I think that's the trickiest thing that a lot of kinksters are negotiating with. There's this theorist called Aki Sakatapolo. I'm going to screw up their name. But
I can't repeat that. I have no idea.
And they wrote a book called Sexuality Beyond Consent.
Okay.
And in that, they provided a model talking about limit consent.
Okay.
That is a very helpful model of thinking about where and how to negotiate consent in the scene. If you're unable to give full consent because you don't have a knowledge of what's going to happen to you, how can you still cope and maintain a sort of like communication with your partner, not as discussion in the scene itself, but having a sort of faith and trust? And this usually happens with long-term play partners who you have a committed kink relationship with, and you allow for these people to like to return to the earlier part of our conversation, to like challenge your bodily limits in ways that help you grow as a person.
That makes a lot of sense. So
I can
like,
put the cliff notes in the comment.
If I can summarize what I took away from that, if you're going to try something new, make sure that it's someone that you already have some kind of established trust with and communication with, so that they can also kind of look out for you in the scene too. I think another thing that has really helped me is if there's a top that I feel very comfortable with and like they have my best interests at heart, and I know like during the scene they're gonna intentionally keep checking in. How is this going for you? Are you liking this? Do you want more? Do you want less? Keep going. What are you feeling? But it's not necessarily very sexy in that. It's much more like practicing seeing what it's like as a sub for something.
I think what I'm also trying to emphasize is that this person has to be invested in you as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and to understand outside of this scene, you know, it's not just the event of the scene itself that that requires aftercare. It's you as a person, you know, and what other kinks you've tried in the past, what sort of trauma, be it like gendered or racial trauma that you had to endure, you know, or that you are implicated in, you know, before you even enter the scene. Being conscientious enough to understand that consent is not just what happens when the cameras start and stop, you know, it's everything that happens before and everything that's going to happen after.
Yeah. That aftercare, I think, is something that people forget.
Yeah.
Because we don't see that in porn.
Yeah. So there are two main reasons why I wanted to start doing porn. The first is seeing more people like myself on camera. And the second thing is giving people a better or more rich or complex understanding of what rope bondage actually is. You know, because in a lot of studio pornography, what you see, once the scene has started, the bottom is tied.
Right. You don't see any of how they got that way.
Any of how they got there. For me, the most pleasurable parts of rope are the application of rope and the untying of rope.
Yeah.
That's when you become really intimate with your partner. You know, that's my favorite part as a submissive. The part where I felt like I'm taken care of. You know. So to not have that represented in pornography actually is not an accurate representation for me of what rope bondage means.
Right.
You know, so hopefully my participation can sort of evolve or reshape this expectation when it comes to rope bondage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make it more realistic in a way.
I love that. I'm really glad that you are doing what you're doing in the industry and helping people connect with it in a much more healthy and like well-rounded way.
Yeah. Are you ready?
I think before we do that, we should call my friend Seth from Coming Out Tarot and have him give us a little reading before we get started. What do you think? Yeah,
sounds good.
Cool. Let's see. Hopefully he picks up. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Seth?
Wonderful. I feel overdressed.
Yes, you should totally take it off with us.
I'm always gonna take off this because it's warm where I am. Surprisingly, it's warm where I am, so I will tank top it.
Oh my God! Show a little shoulder. Turn us up. Well, thank you so much for being able to give us a reading today. Zed and I have been talking about rope bondage. He's going to tie me up in a little bit. He's also going to teach me to do a little knot on him, right? So that I can practice.
Like basic single palm.
Yeah.
Have you done rope, Seth?
Not in the way that you're talking about. No, so it hasn't been that specific or dedicated.
Okay.
But I am fascinated by it, and I think it's beautiful.
Would you rather get tied up or learn to tie someone else up?
I'm into both of that.
Okay.
I love for the people who are sitting across from me to ask a question, because then I'm focused on what's most important to you.
Yeah.
And that way we zero in and we dig deeper into something that is most important right now.
Okay. Would you like to go first or second?
Yeah, I can go first.
Okay.
No, it's like a question.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm in a dual role right now. I'm both like producing this, I'm in it, and I'm like going to be sub, but I'm also like very dommy in my head about like, this is my thing, I'm in charge. What can I do, or what do I need to know in order to kind of like let go and do a better job of really being wholly in this?
Asking a question is the first step. So, and not just for me, but for what you're asking. From a moment of experience, that's step one. Do you want to see these cards as I talk about them?
I would love to.
Yeah?
Yes.
I'm using a deck called the Divine Masculine. The first card that I drew in order to help guide this experience is Death.
I love how this card looks.
Yeah, it's like anime.
Praise that the orgasm is also called a little death, because in the moment, nothing else matters, and everything transforms. Everything's different. We've gone from one side to the other. You can't help but be different on the other side of that experience. And so similarly, in order to be present, you're going to be available for now, knowing there's another side. The challenge will be, don't anticipate the other side, you just have to live in the experience. Where you're coming from, with the energy that's leading into this, is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a couple things. One, it's the card that represents every man's heart-on in the world. So you're coming from a place of sexual availability, of wanting to drive this experience and wanting to make sure that it goes off the way you want it to be. However, you have to put that trust in someone else, and they get to carry you through.
Yay.
I hope. Maybe it's the caravans. It's not me.
Allow yourselves to be in the moment. Let it happen. The fear is showing up as the Seven of Swords. The fear is that you might not have this be exactly what you want, that it could not live up to everything that you anticipate it to be, because you've already got this idea in your head, right? When we talk about rope or bondage or tying ourselves up, there are so many different places we go to of what could happen that you forget to exist. And being in bondage at the request of yourself and consent to someone else to have this, what seems like ultimate power because you can't move, you have more power than you realize. Let yourself have your heels in the sand. You're stronger than you think. Doesn't this look like you anyway? I mean,
it kind of does.
Is he wearing heels?
yeah.
Oh, then it's definitely me.
Here's the outcome of it. This is the Nine of Cups.
Yes.
This is the aftermath. This is the pleasure of. This is the, fuck yeah, now I know what this is. Now I know more about how I exist in space, in the world, in the way I move through space in the world. This is about finding your own way to comfort and freedom.
Thank
so
you.
just be available. Be available.
When you said the word anticipation, I was like, oh, that, you like hit the nail on the head with that. That's what it is. Letting go of the anticipation.
Just make sure you have a degree of check-in or consent either before or during, so that if something comes up, you're like, oh, I didn't realize that this fucking turns me on. I want to keep doing this thing. Are you into it? Then allow it to be a discovery. In the end, you get to let go of whatever inhibitions you thought you had. You guys are going to have the best time.
We are.
You're gonna see all of it.
We'll send you the uncut version. Thank you again so much for doing this for us today. I really appreciate it. And I'm feeling so much more ready for our scene. How about you?
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Go have fun.
Thanks,
Thanks, Seth. Bye.
So the very first rule is that if you show up to the scene and your rope top doesn't have a pair of safety shears, and not scissors, there's safety shears on standby, within reach, as part of the scene, leave. This rope is jute rope.
What kind of rope?
Jute. J-U-T-E.
Jute. It's a lot softer than like hemp.
When it first arrives from the factory, it's like stiff. But every time you wash it, every time you use it, it becomes softer and more pliable. And the center of the rope is called the bite, the B-I-G-H-T.
Okay.
And it's this thing here. You usually start with folding the center to form against the skin, less pressure. Somebody is just doing like one, is a lot of pressure. The more doubling you do,
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's kind of like a bed of nails.
yes,
Where like,
and it's physics basically.
okay.
So you find the center of the bite.
Okay.
The very first thing for rope handling is just being able to keep the bite, because this is where you start. So when you apply the rope body, you should have the same principle where you paint the rope on instead of like,
Yes.
it changes the sensation of rope.
Right.
It's like drawing a line on your body. So the very first thing you can try is just to put the bite down on one end, just like painting and drawing a line on the side of your thumb.
Oh yeah, it's easier on the side.
Yeah. So for example, I have it here.
Is it okay to like react by like putting my hand on
The
you?
rope is supposed to like bring me closer to you.
It feels like a really nice warm hug. It feels very intimate. I like it.
So you can try that on me.
Okay.
So there are many ways of doing a single column tie. What a single column tie basically means is this is a column, I'm putting the rope around it, and I'm tying a knot here to secure it. And most rope ties begin with this thing called the single column tie.
What would be a multiple column?
Double column tie is one where you split it in the center, and it's something like this.
Okay.
Where it's two columns and one cinch in the center. This is still a single column tie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's only one column, you don't cinch it.
Got it.
Yeah. So the easiest way is to do it on your ankle.
Okay.
Lay the rope. Once, twice, cross.
Okay.
And you hold it like that, like a chopstick with your thumb. And you do like a little O. Pick up the bite, lay it across.
Okay.
Use your finger as the fish hook. Go under, hook the bite across, and then tighten it.
Okay. We're gonna have to I want to rewind.
This is the bite.
Over top.
Drape it over, under.
Round.
Adjust, and it has to go one more round.
Okay. So now it's like 6
Yeah.
rips tall. Okay.
Yeah. So you have to keep 2 fingers there. You have to do it exactly the way I do.
Okay. Let's try it again.
The way I do. Okay.
I'm doing a better job of staying in the moment. Okay.
So the beauty about a single column tie is that no matter how much I pull, it's not supposed to cinch down, which is very important, because if you tighten and keep tightening and tightening and tightening, the pressure is too much. You want the tension to be maintained exactly as how you started laying the rope. And from this is basically where you start building harnesses.
Okay.
Single column tie.
Okay.
And you can do an entire scene with just a single column tie. My partner and I do a class about it. We call
Really?
it one long rope. And you start off with a single column tie, and you can do an entire scene.
And then you're just wrapping other parts, but you don't need to tie more knots.
You can tie one knot at the end,
Uh-huh.
just to hold it in place. My favorite part, which I don't see a lot of people doing, like things like this.
Oh, I like this. I like that.
So things like that.
Thank you.
Before we do some rope, usually I have some question. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
Okay.
I was feeling nervous before, but now I feel a lot calmer. There's probably still a little underlying anxiety.
How is your body feeling? Like any numbness or pain or injuries that I should know about?
So my shoulders, I just have a history of like having issues with them.
What's your range of motion like? Can you show me when it's painful?
This is painful.
Okay.
In the shoulder.
In here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about this little thing?
Yeah.
Like
This
a
is
box?
pretty comfortable. This starts hurting
Uh-huh.
if it's a little looser, like right here where my wrist is pretty much in line with my spine. It feels fine.
How about putting your wrist down lower to your sacrum?
That feels a lot better.
Can you do a turnout?
Can I do a what?
Okay, that's good. Stand up.
Okay.
A little bit of stretching.
Oh, let's turn off the fan.
I'm not gonna lose your fingers.
Before we jump in, I was thinking there's a fun toy that we could use.
Oh, okay.
Also, the pleasure pistol.
Ooh.
I really like this. This is from Pure Envy, and they do a really good job of making some really quality sex toys that are very
Yeah.
affordable price.
Can we see it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking this could be a fun way for you to just like
Yeah.
tease my body.
You know what I
Lots
like
of
about
time.
this from a rope bondage perspective
Okay.
is that there's this anchor point, you know.
Mhm.
So for example, if like, I want to like put some rope in,
And
so
then you could just
yeah,
always
like,
have it.
so it's
vibrating
just
it.
there.
I like that. That's so fun.
Hold it a little bit. They're so tall.
I know. I like how this makes my pecs look bigger.
Mm-hmm. It's like
Hello, Tommy. Oh, that's cool.
And, you know, one time I did it on stage, and it's like,
Was that for effect or was it free? But I would love to.
actually pay for that, you know. Seth then.
I don't know. Sound like he's open potato chips out there.
Probably what my tummy was responding. Just tie off the excess. Let's see what I can do.
I wish I could see in the mirror.
You can see.
This is beautiful, Zed.
Thank you.
Wow.
You know, and
Very symmetrical.
which is why I emphasize that, you know, it's like the top has to really look at your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what does this body need? What does this object need?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what parts need to be accentuated? What parts need to be highlighted? I really want to highlight this quote, so I'm not gonna like put rope over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and thinking about your pecs, what can I do so that I can accentuate and shape them?
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Now I want to
Like
walk around
boobs.
all the way with my boobies. All day, every day, boobies.
Yeah, and for male harnesses, you know, there are different principles about how tight and how wide and where to place the shoulder straps. But I find that when you place it here and you expand it out, it makes the pecs look bigger. A lot of Japanese shabari ties are designed for women,
Mm-hmm.
so the intention is to squeeze the breast,
Oh.
you know, so it creates this like really sexy little like pouch
Okay.
thing. But for guys, it doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not flattering.
Like pushes into the mattress. Oh, that actually feels cool. You can feel it throughout the rope. Like I can feel it in my ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's neat.
It's like vibrations, you know.
Yeah.
Would you like to be blindfolded?
Sure. Thank you. Really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I think the main difference is between getting tied up and being like naked.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that, well, I wasn't blindfolded the first time. So like being blindfolded helped me just focus on the sensations I was feeling in my body.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that with the blindfold, it helped me take my mind at first off of like, do I have an erection, do I not? And that kind of pressure that I put on myself to like have to have an erection always kills the erection.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was nice. I also really liked the way that you incorporated the toy into the tying.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun for it to like not only my asshole like could get played with, but then the way that you wrapped the rope like up around my dick here, it was almost like having a little bit of a cock ring on, and I liked that a lot.
That was completely improv.
The time that you were sitting on my dick and you started like yanking the toy by the rope, that was so fun, and that's something you couldn't have done without the rope.
Yeah.
How about you? What was?
I like
what you
finding
most
out
about?
how your body works.
Mm.
I think that's the most interesting thing about doing rope bondage of different bodies. Seeing the limits of flexibility, but also like how flexible some things are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's the first time I've tied somebody who's much bigger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like reaching around and like
like how like close you get.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's because of your size that I had to get closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I had to reach.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So that was also a really interesting experience. I've never really filmed the entire thing talking through it. So this was the first time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That process actually allowed me to like really consider like, hey, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what am I trying to do with this? Just verbalizing was very helpful in a way. And it made me reconsider like, hey, so certain things that I was doing unconsciously, maybe there's an intention behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
When I've done bondage of any sort before, almost every time I either did not come or I had a really hard time getting to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it
Yeah.
so much. And I think, I mean, you saw my body like reacting with like shivers. Like I was getting
Mm-hmm.
orgasmic sensations or even little mini orgasms
Yeah.
for sure. And none of that required an erection, none of it required ejaculation.
Mm-hmm. It brings the focus to other parts of your body.
Mm-hmm. And also to the connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was kind of fun to be able to let go and let you just like take control of my body and push me, pull me, move me, you know, adjust everything. And then
And you're a lot to move.
I felt cradled and I felt cared for and admired. And I think all of those things are just, I just really appreciate the whole experience. So
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting me do this.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time. Until then.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much again for being on the show today and for teaching me shabari, for tying me up.
You know how when people say my pleasure, they don't really mean it.
Yeah.
But this is, as you can see, really a pleasure.
Yeah.
So it's my pleasure.
Just your pleasure and my pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
If you enjoyed today's episode like I did, don't gatekeep, share it with a friend, and leave a rating to support our mission of ending sex shame. You can find the full explicit demo on my Hey Alexxx Gay site. Then show today's guests some love with a follow. Their link is down in the description. And if you're curious about today's sponsored product, you can find all that info in the description as well. Thanks for coming. Stay curious, sexy.